team, happy Monday. Mr. McCarthy here again with the second in my latest leadership insight all around the power of conversations. As I look at the material I'd like to share, this is probably the second of a 3 or 4 posts. So I think maybe next week we'll wrap up. But today I wanted to focus on conversations that produce results. So whenever we're working in a group or in a team on a project or striving for a particular goal, there are a series of 5 conversations that are really useful for moving the action forward, keeping the momentum, or even producing momentum when that project or task is kind of stalled. These conversations, again, are not linear. They don't happen, in a particular order. In fact, to be completed one at a time. They're happening all the time. And what you do is you listen out for, which of those 5 conversations is missing, and it's likely missing as a cause of the project or the goal not being achieved. So why is this important? Well, when you can distinguish these 5 conversations and what they provide, it's easy to understand which one is holding up the action. And how to intervene, right, and move things forward again. And then you can intervene at any point in the project or in the goal that you're looking for, depending on what's needed. So again, whenever anything gets stuck, stop, step back, and ask yourself which of these 5 conversations is likely to be missing. And once you discover which is missing, you'll be able to go after that as the cause for the stall or the lack of progress. So these 5 conversations, maybe cover two of them today. A conversation for creating relationship, a conversation for creating possibility, a conversation for opportunity, a conversation for action, and a conversation for completion or closure. And again, use these tools, as I said, to move things forward, even if things are moving forward well, right? To keep them moving forward, but especially if things have stalled, get them back on track again. So let's look at the first one, conversation for relationship. What you're listening for, and I'm obsessed with active listening, what you're listening for are commitments and concerns. And, saying what you are committed to and what your concerns are is really key. And you're listening for what others are committed to and concerned about. That creates the relationship, okay? And this is the foundation on which results and accomplishments are really built. That relationship has to be strong enough to support what it is that you're out to accomplish. And again, it's not a personal relationship between you and your friend, you and your boss, you and your teammate. It's a relationship of commitments, and it also ensures that people are related to what you're committed to, okay? So a little tip here. Relationship has to be created on an ongoing basis. If you stop creating it and expanding it, it will only exist as a temporary kind of memory, right? And it'll be insufficient to sustain what you're really building. In fact, this is kind of true of all of these conversations, right? They're impermanent, they're temporary, at least at first. And it's best to always assume that this conversation for relationship is always impermanent. In other words, you've got to really treat it with care, nurture it along the way, and it's really important. So you're listening for commitments and concerns, and you're stating what your commitments and your concerns are. The next one is a conversation for possibility. This is a really powerful one, right? And what you're listening for here is people asking, what do you see? And those 4 words are really powerful too, right? If you're ever in let's call it a stalemate or a conflict, rather than just assume the person you're in a conversation with is wrong, just stop and ask them those 4 words. What do you see? And pursuing that conversation can be really powerful. A conversation for possibility needs to be carefully managed as well. And first, you should declare the subject about which you want to create some new possibilities. So for example, hey team, I want us to have a conversation for the possibility of significantly improving our retention metrics at our school. And I'll be satisfied if we all come up with 5 new things, 5 new ideas that could help us significantly improve our retention. And then, you know, kind of like we do with SMART goals, declare a time limit around that, right? You know, it's very difficult to stay in a conversation for possibilities, right? What you'll do is, you know, somebody will have an awesome idea and you'll just go after that first idea. You'll say, oh, how could we do that? So don't do that. Instead, really stay in a conversation for possibility, and really listen, give everyone the opportunity to have that great idea, right? Write them all down. You know, every idea is a good idea, and just keep declaring ideas. Don't just go after those first one or two, right? And then you'll know when the ideas are exhausted, right? But if you just keep pressing through and make sure everybody comes up with their 5 great ideas, you know, sometimes you start to get some silly ones. Sometimes you get some not so great ideas, but on the other side of that phase is normally where the really great ideas are, right? Because the stuff that comes out early on tends to be the things that are like more immediately at the front of our brains. So then you'll have this whole new group of possibilities, and if only one of them, you know, delivers awesome results, that was a successful conversation. You know, and again, you want to kind of like not be speaking from history, so really kind of step out of the box. So that's the second conversation, right? Again, we're looking conversation for relationships, conversations for possibilities. Next week, I guess I'll wrap up with a conversation about opportunity, a conversation about action, and a conversation for completion or closure. Again, really simple kind of stuff. And the key as well, remember, is to ask yourself, are one of these 5 conversations not happening? And if so, that's likely the reason for you not seeing the success that you're expecting to see. So great ways to use these simple ideas. Again, if you like this video, please give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe so that then we can make sure that you get to see them every time they come out. And that's it. Bye for now.